Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our EGM Securities Update. Today I've got Martin with me, and Martin is a sales manager at EGM. And if you ever feel like swinging a line or doing one of the trades we're suggesting, I suggest you give him a bell. Martin, today we were going to look at the Australian market, the Aussie dollar. This morning I was reading that it's the Prime Ministership in Australia is like a revolving door. They haven't had a Prime Minister's service full term for 10 years. But we saw some dramatic movements. Why don't you tell us what has happened and how could we have made some money?
The good thing with Australians, unlike many other countries, is that they are able to separate the economic side of it from the political side of it. So, meaning that even if the Prime Minister, there's a higher turnover of the Prime Ministers, the economy is not hit
It's
that
immune,
bad.
a little bit immune.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So, however, for the last 3 or 4 days, there have been a kind of a roller coaster in the Australian politics, which has affected the Australian dollar quite a bit. It started on Wednesday evening.
Wednesday evening was somewhere there?
Yes, somewhere here.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes, exactly when their previous Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull, went in for a vote of confidence, which he won, luckily. The opponent, Danton, was lost. Technically, the win didn't last long. One day after, there was a series of resignation by his cabinet secretaries, which you can see was
so these announcements coming out.
Yes, these announcents coming out.
But from there, that was quite a big drop, right?
Yes, exactly, around 55 pips, which is it's quite a big drop. And then there was kind of some consolidation, basically what happens with the market. Another big drop. And so I think the Australians saw that it was important to put the house in order, technically. Yeah. So the next day, that is Friday.
Yes.
This morning.
This is when we got the announcement.
Yes, they have a new Prime Minister, Scott Morrison. And we can see that basically there's a bit of confidence in the market. We don't know how much it will last, but
we haven't gone back to the levels we were before.
Yes. We are actually still around 55, 60 pips short of where the markets are. However, as much as that might has caused the Aussie USD to lose, remember the Australian dollar has been losing almost for the whole of this year. Remember, it's dependent on products, on copper, iron ore, gold, technically the commodities. And this year has been bad.
So it's like a commodity proxy.
Yes, it's a commodity. Yes, exactly. And this year has been quite bad for the commodities market. And also, it's the biggest trade partner with China.
Yes.
And also this year has been bad for the Chinese. All these U.S. trade wars. There's a debt crisis with the Chinese companies. And now from there, that means that all that revolves. There's a ripple effect that comes, to affect the Australian dollar. And also, apart from that, remember in-house, in Australia, they're having a drought crisis.
Yes.
Yes, which is still affecting them
you're saying
big time.
it's a weather shock, it's a Chinese shock, you're saying it's a commodity shock.
These are performers of gold for the last technical 1 year. The prices have been going down. Yes. I mean, they're the
That's come. When you look at a year chart, it's come down a lot from up there, right?
Oh yeah. And actually, I don't think this is bad enough. If you look at copper, it's for instance, you look at copper here. Copper is bad enough.
So this is from what? The
this
beginning
June?
of June?
Yes, this is the beginning of June.
That's a huge slide.
Yes, a huge slide. Yeah? And you see now all these, and basically, what happens with the currencies. Remember, currencies, they take effect from all round. Commodities, politics, and all that, and it boils, now from them kicking out their Prime Minister. Maybe he might not last, the new one might not last that long. However, I don't think getting the new Prime Minister will be the resolve for them, the Australian dollar gaining. They might, in the next still the end of this year, it might continue downhill.
You're bearish.
Yes,
you're bearish.
It might be quite bearish.
Let's say you were bearish like yourself.
Yes.
Where would you be looking to sell this? Because this is quite an extreme political driven event. You might get a bit. Or what would you be selling here on the rebound? Or
I don't think so. I think probably the markets will cool down a bit. They might rebound out maybe 0.73 to 4 years up to that point.
Yes.
Hopefully, and then from there, it will continue downhill.
Okay.
Yes, that's my prediction.
So if you wanted to trade now, you'd be waiting until you saw it recover up to about here.
Yes.
That would be the signal for you now to take a look
Yes,
at it.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because, the market activity, what has been happening, it has been kind of shock-driven.
Yes.
Shock-driven of these. And, the moment that a market is driven by, those shocks, it always recover. Yes, you saw with the Swiss franc, there's panic, all that. It will recover after a while, give it one, if the shock is not that big, like this one is 100, kind of 100, 150 pips, it may recover up to 75, and then the roller coaster continues.
This is to the roller coaster. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ali.
Thank you.
Karibu.